So I'm just getting this Instagram popping and then we going live. What's going on, y'all? What's going on? So I was trying to get this going earlier. I was trying to do just like a regular edited video, but the thing just overheated on me and I was like, okay, when all else fails, let's just go live. So I'm live. Some people may not see this right now because it was really ad hoc, but we live. So this is what's going on. First of all, I want to thank everybody that's joined me. I want to thank everybody that's been checking out the Sound Mind sessions. If you haven't already done Sound Mind sessions, if you haven't already checked it out, once this video is done and uploaded to YouTube, I'll go ahead and put a link in the video description so you can check that out. It's a 6-part video course for music producers. It's covering a lot of really important topics on music business and just really a good primer for anybody that's looking to get into music production. So that's that. Peace to everybody that's joining. Peace to everybody that's in the live. I was trying to do a edited video. Camera overheated on me. I got tired of that. I was trying to get this lighting right. So we're just doing a live thing. I got a few things I want to talk about. And I didn't want the moment to pass. So, I mean, just as a general update, first of all, some of y'all may be wondering why I haven't been doing a lot of like YouTube tutorial videos and whatnot. I got some emails asking me about what's going on. Video tutorials are coming, and we're going to do a lot more than just video tutorials. I've been doing a lot of work in here, doing a lot of recording. Recently got some new hardware, analog equipment that I've been working with. If you follow me on IG, if you're looking at this on IG, you've probably seen I got some of the Warm Audio EQ PWA tube EQs. They're kind of like Pultec style EQs. Those are these right here. So got those. I've been messing with those, really exploring the sound of them. I had checked them out before, and you know, once I had a chance to like really get down with them during NAMM, I was really convinced that I wanted to have some analog EQs in the setup. So I got the EQ PWAs and really like them. I plan on doing some like full-on reviews on my YouTube channel as far as you know, the sound and, you know, the features, and also probably do some A/B tests as well, just so you can kind of get a difference. I've been doing a lot of recording with them, so I really got some good impressions about, you know, some of the differences between the analog and the digital versions, like the UAD versions as well. So I'll be discussing that in the coming weeks. But other than that, I just been doing a lot of sound design and recording. I'm recording a lot of new sounds, working on some productions and whatnot. So I'm just getting things in order, man. So that's what's been going on with me. But tonight I wanted to talk about this beat battle that happened this past weekend between Swizz Beatz and Just Blaze, because I didn't want the moment to pass, and I think the fact that they battled head up was really important for hip hop culture. I think it was such a great thing that they actually did that, and I believe that for a lot of people, especially in the producer community, the results weren't as one-sided as a lot of people would have thought initially. Because the fact of the matter is, for the hip-hop producer, I would say Just Blaze is probably the producer's producer. He's the guy that finds the sample that, you know, you weren't looking at and does some crazy stuff with it, and he's the one that puts the you know, he just he goes all the way in with his production. Like he gets the live musicians, he gets, you know, all the components and things that you would want to hear in a production, or the things you wish you'd be able to do with your own production. Just Blaze brings that to the table. So he's probably one of the most inspiring producers of the past 20 years now. You know, besides people like Jay Dilla and stuff, I think Just Blaze kind of takes the music production, like all aspects of it, and takes it to another level. So the fact that he was battling Swizz Beatz, I know a lot of music producers kind of thought that it would just be a full slaughter, but a lot of people came to the realization that Swizz Beatz is not as limited, nor is he as I would say he was a pretty formidable opponent for Just Blaze, because realistically, you got to think about who Swizz is and what he's accomplished. Swizz is a producer that came in the game very young, at a very young age. He was, you know, one of the main producers for the Rough Rider camp, but also you got to look at it from this perspective. He had his own sound. He's always had a great understanding of energy, and he's always understood the elements of music that can move the crowd. And I think because of that, he's been very successful in his career, because he understands the things that are going to motivate and move people. And that's really important as a music producer, is that you know how to move people emotionally. And, you know, if you look at Swizz's resume for real, like Swizz Beatz is responsible for over 100 million record sales in his career. Like you can't do that on accident. That man knows what he's doing, and he's capturing the minds and the hearts of people that he's trying to make music for. So I think when he battled Just Blaze, people got to really understand and had to respect his resume and his catalog, because they've both produced for some of the top rap artists in the game, and they both have their own thing. But Swizz definitely showed you that it's not just about how technical your music is, but it's also about the energy you bring and how you're able to move the crowd with the energy that you're bringing in your music production. And it was an awesome battle. It was awesome to see them go back and forth for, you know, and you could tell it was just for the love of the culture and hip hop. They weren't doing it for, you know, to pat themselves on the back, but they really wanted to energize the community. And the battle that they did was really interesting, because usually in the hip hop community, these beat battles are usually about unreleased music that people are on stage pantomiming to. And, you know, I always felt like that kind of beat battle was a little bit strange in a way, because on one hand, it's dope to see people want to stand behind their music in front of a crowd to get the public response. But at the same time, a beat battle, like realistically, a beat battle never served any real purpose for most music producers, except for giving them an avenue or an outlet to get their music heard. But nobody ever really got like a you know, record sales or anything from a beat battle. A beat battle is more of a cultural thing. It's a competitive sport. But this battle that Just Blaze and Swizz Beatz did was more about their songs. They went back and forth, head to head with released songs. So I think it said a lot about, you know, the difference between a producer and a beat maker. And, you know, I think it's an important conversation to still have, not to bring separation or to try to create some type of, you know, stratification in the music production world. But, you know, Swizz Beatz especially was one of those producers that had a group of musicians or artists that he backed, and he did the whole, you know, music producer thing for that camp for quite some time. And I think that that's something that is going to benefit your resume and your overall. It's going to benefit your legacy much greater than just trying to sell beats or trying to get placements. You know, Swizz never really was the placements guy. He was the guy that really just said, I'm the producer of this camp, and he created a sound for his camp. And I really think that it's important for music producers to get back to that. And, you know, I actually, in response to the battle, I posed a question on my Instagram. And the question was essentially, what do you think the results or the impact on the culture would be if all the producers and beat makers online decided to just stop selling their beats online completely, just shut down the marketplace and focused on producing artists and musicians that they worked with in person or wanted to support specifically, and not just trying to like get placements and get sales, but really just focus on people that they wanted to build up as artists? What do you think the impact on the culture would be? And the response that I got from that question was amazing, because people in this community realize that it's important that we do produce records and not just focus on getting beat sales, because when the focus is just on beat sales, it creates a environment where it's really just about access, and it's really just about access to cheap music. So it really has the counter effect of, it'll empower producers, but at the same time, it definitely takes away from their overall worth. Because if people feel like they can get the music they need for $25, they're just going to take their $25, pay for the music, and they're going to push the producer out of the picture. And that's something that is not going to be overall healthy for the community. I believe that to a degree, people that are selling beats online, if they're only focused on selling beats online, it is a form of being a culture vulture, because essentially what it does is it creates this environment where artists don't look at producers as people that are providing a service and have an overall vision and a creative input and the ability to help them to expand their musical vision as artists, but they're just looking at them as people that provide beats, and that's all you're worth at that point. So if you got a lot of people putting up beats for $25, it just really undervalues and undermines the art and craft of music production. So, and that's not a diss, first of all, to anybody that's out there selling beats. That's not a diss. And I think that it's a such thing as balance, first of all. And that's why I said, if that's your only concern is selling beats, then you definitely create this environment. But I think that if you have more focus on actually working with artists and producing records, it will be overall a better thing for the culture. Because what's happened with online beat sales is that it definitely has added to the whole globalization of music production. It has made things a lot more accessible for people all over the world, but it's also created this situation where there's not really a such thing as like a regional sound, for example. Like, regional sound has definitely died because of beats, online beat selling. Now everybody has access to the same types of music, and it doesn't matter what skill level they have or, you know, what quality of artist they are. Everybody has access to the same type of beats if they have the money to pay for it. And I think that has created a lot of problems with the value and the valuation of music in general. And I believe that the quality of music is suffering because everybody is homogenizing to try to meet the demands of the marketplace online. as opposed to really being concerned with the creative side and actually building up an artist and putting out art that is, effective and moves people. And, like I said, the battle that we saw this weekend really just shed light on the importance of producing records, not just producing beats. Like, we can produce beats until our faces turn blue, but at the end of the day, people, like real consumers, not the people that are buying beats, but real consumers that buy records, the ones that go to concerts, the ones that go to the club and pay money to go have a good time and be entertained, those people want to hear records. They're not looking to hear just your beats. And I think that the beat selling thing online is cool if you're just trying to get a little bit of money and just create a situation for yourself. But overall, it's not doing anything for the community of people that are really looking to enjoy music. So I think we don't want to continue to build a situation where everybody has access to beats and they can buy it and create a whole lot of noise in the music marketplace, because that also has an effect on the perceived value of a hip hop record. If everybody is able to make a hip hop record because there's no real talent level involved, no investment involved, and it's just about having access to a $25 beat in some cheap recording environment, of course that's going to create a valuation issue with the actual result or the product that we sell. Like, it's not going to make your music any more valuable if everybody can create the thing that you're doing. Why would you pay good money to buy something that you could easily do yourself? And I think that's the problem that we're having in hip hop, is that we've created a issue with the value because we're trying to get a really quick buck off of the online community, but not really taking into consideration the effects it has on the culture. And it's important that we try to preserve the culture of hip hop so that there is something for the next generation. But if we just destroy it now over a quick buck because we can, sell a quick beat online, but never look to try to create records that inspire the next generation, then we have a problem. So, I hope that the result of this battle that occurred this weekend is really going to inspire more producers to just start working with artists again and not just make it about trying to sell beats all the time. And I get it. You want to make money. All right, I get that part. But it's a culture too. And if everything becomes about money, see, when money becomes the most important thing, you're usually going to compromise or going to be willing to sacrifice aspects of the culture in order to get money. And all money ain't good money. You know what I'm saying? Like that, and that's essentially what selling out is, when you are willing to jeopardize the culture or the community that you represent in order for you to get a financial gain. And I think that's kind of the paradigm that we're creating culturally with this focus on simply beat sales. So I think that it'll be a good thing when more producers start to just develop artists, develop a sound with the artists, and push artists that they wholeheartedly support. Because that's the other thing about selling beats online, is there's no filter, there's no gate. Anybody can access you. So what that means is you got people that you may not even care about artistically that are on your music. And, as a producer, you're not necessarily going to support or try to push or market or do any of the things that are necessary to make an impact on that artist's career. You're not necessarily concerned with that because you already got the beat sale, you already got the transaction. So at that point, you could be done with them. And for the most part, the artists are done with us if we sell beats online and don't really try to cultivate a sound with them. So it's really important. We got to get back to like producing records with artists, really getting in the trenches, really just working out some ideas and really putting a full effort into music production. It's about making artists better. You're right. And it's also about having a solid and meaningful impact on the culture, because again, people are listening to music to be entertained. They're trying to get something out of it that's going to benefit their lives. So if we only look at the monetary aspect of it, we're lost. We're lost as a culture. So, I just wanted to bring that up because I thought that this battle that Swizz Beatz and Just Blaze had this weekend was epic, and it's very inspiring, and it's eye-opening because it shows you the power of records versus beats. Those records, we have so much emotional we have so much emotional attachment to it because the lyrics and the movement impacted us. It's not just the beat. So I just wanted to just to build on that, and hopefully people see it that way and start thinking more about what they can do as producers to create a better environment for the culture. Because at the end of the day, if we destroy our own culture, there will be no money to make off of it, to be honest. Like, we're sitting up here talking about $25 beats now, but if we destroy this culture, there won't be $25 to make off of a beat. Oh, okay. I appreciate you, bro. I appreciate you. Beat making videos, I still want to get into that. Like, I haven't had time to really do a lot of beat making videos, but I definitely want to get back into it because it's fun. It's just I want to find maybe a little bit better of a way to do it. In the past, beat making videos for me has kind of been an ad hoc thing. I turn the camera on and you just catch whatever I'm doing at the time. I've never really done a pre-planned beat making video, except for like the beat making video I did for Native Instruments. That was the only time I did like a pre-planned beat making video. Everything else I've done on YouTube has always been like freestyle off the top, like you catch whatever you catch. So sometimes you catch something that's, I don't know, man. Sometimes you just catch me in the right spot and it works. So, but I want to get back into that as well. But like I was saying earlier, one of the things I want to do this year is also get into some of the, stuff like sound design and music production tutorials and that sort of thing as well. I don't want to just make it about beat making videos. So we got some more stuff like that coming. But I appreciate you. I appreciate the support, and we definitely gonna continue doing these videos. Trust. Somebody is asking, do you think technology has created this problem? Of course, technology always has benefits, and it also has some negative social ramifications. That is just the nature of technology. There's always some type of ethics involved when you're a developer, because as a developer of technology, you always have to consider, you have to weigh the benefits versus the negative social effects, and you have to make an ethical decision whether it's more important for you to get the technology out to better society, or if the technology is going to ultimately destroy technology. That is your dilemma as a developer or as an engineer of technology. I mean, even in my role as a sound designer, there are some ethics that I have to think about as far as what things can I provide that still allow musicians to be creative without giving them too much where it creates a paradigm where there's no value in the process of music production. These are things I have to think about. Like, am I giving too much now? Or am I providing just enough where it's a useful tool, but it's not going to damage the culture? So technology always has that problem. I think, when they were developing the atomic bomb, I mean, obviously there was some ethical thoughts in place with that. They had to think about it, and there was a reason why the people that discovered that technology didn't just go and sell it to the highest bidder. I think that's where we're at with technology. You always have to consider what's the ramifications of it. So with technology as it relates to music and also just internet and communications and whatnot, it's allowed a lot of opportunity. It allows us to work with people all over the world, and it allows us to really get our art out, and it allows some people to exploit their art, and some people really take the technology to exploit their art in different ways. But I think one of the issues is that there is a social ramification if you don't consider all aspects of exploiting your art. And with online beat sales, if you don't have any type of gates, if you don't have any type of ways to filter out the noise, then it creates a different paradigm and environment in the music community. So now you have a lot of noise because everybody has access, and you have no way of really filtering out the real from the fake, and the people that are supposed to be doing it because they're artistic and really dedicated to the craft versus the people that are using the music as a platform because they think it's an opportunity to avoid having to have a real job and stuff. That you have that paradigm now, and we have to really address it. And I don't expect that any producers out here that are making their living off of selling beats online are going to all of a sudden just shut that down. I think that's unrealistic. And I mean, when I posed that question, I didn't expect that anybody was going to say they had an epiphany and they're just going to stop selling beats. But I really wanted people to start thinking about the social ramifications of it, because there is a way to really challenge the current status and really think about a better way of dealing with this whole dichotomy of having to be a artist, a music producer, and also make a living. And I think the online beat selling thing right now has created a false dichotomy that we can, somehow just devalue the culture and profit off of it, and it's okay. There's no social ramifications for it, I think that's not going to benefit us long term. I think we have to really address this need differently, and I think that the internet does provide us with some opportunities to create new types of entertainment experiences and other types of avenues to express our art and monetize it for that matter. But I think we've kind of chosen the lowest way of doing it because it's just convenient and easy. Like, you can just put a beat site together, put a whole bunch of beats online, $25 a beat, and say, hey, you can sell that dream, because that's essentially what you're doing when you sell beats for $25 online. Is you're selling a dream to people that believe that they have a chance to become a celebrity or superstar off of music. And there's other industries that do that. Obviously, I mean, anytime you have a type of get rich quick industry, or you're selling people the idea of making money or celebrity, that's always going to be an issue. But with music, because it's an art, it's even more of a challenge, because we've got to really be careful that we don't sell a dream to people short term and then pretty much create a situation where there's no dream to be had in 15, 20 years from now, because it's no longer a valuable art form. So, consider maybe putting more attention on artists that you want to work with and really producing them, as opposed to simply trying to be this guy that makes their money solely off of beat sales on your website. I think there's a such thing as balance, and realistically, I want to hear more of your produced records. I don't want to hear that you only make your money off of selling beats online, because that tells me that you don't really care about working with artists, and you don't really care about actually producing records that affect people. Because, like I said, when you sell a beat online, you don't care necessarily about that artist. You did it's a transactional thing. So, yeah, that's pretty much what I want to talk about. I don't want to continue to beat that down, but hopefully people are inspired by what they saw this weekend and really want to just start getting into making records, because I think that's so important that producers get in the studio with artists and really craft things that have an impact on the culture, because that's what's going to last. That's what's going to push things forward. Not the online beat sales, not the, not even really beat battles. Beat battles is cool, it's cultural, but at the end of the day, people want to enjoy your records. So that's what we got to be. We got to be thinking about creating records for the community and actually push records and artists that we care about. Because if we don't care about the artists, they shouldn't have our music. That's how I feel, at least. I don't care about this person as an artist. They shouldn't have access to exploit my art for some type of monetary gain. That's not cool at all. So anyhow, I'll probably stay on for a little bit. If anybody got questions, we can chop it up for a little bit. I wanted to do this stream earlier, but had some technical issues. But we're just gonna keep it going. Told myself this is the year to make songs, actual songs. Yeah, make songs, man. That's what's up. Like, definitely work on songs. It's okay to write music. As a music producer, a lot of times, a lot of music producers are also composers, and you should be writing music. Even if it's instrumental, you're composing music. That's fine. But I think if the focus is just on this whole, like, I'm trying to make beats to have a collection of beats to potentially sell online or to sell to some artists at some point, then it kind of makes things cloudy. Like, as a music producer, you want to be in the trenches with an artist. You want to actually develop with an artist. You don't just want it to be about you giving them some, canvas to express on, and then you don't do any work after. Like, your beat, the canvases that you create for artists should just be, points of inspiration for you to build off of, for them to build off of as well. And then you get feedback from them in the form of a song or a hook or idea, and you continue to process. You continue to build together until you have produced a product that matches the concept or the vision for the song. Have you ever produced for an artist you didn't believe in? No. And let me clarify that. So I have sold beats online. I'm not saying that I've never sold beats online. I've definitely sold beats online. So what I found is that when I did sell beats online, I generally didn't have any connection to anybody I sold beats to unless they were local. Those that were local, I could get on the phone with, possibly meet them and do other things. But for the most part, when I sold beats online, it was just like it was whatever. They bought the beats and they did what they did, and I may not have even heard the record. But those that I have produced for, like those that I have been in the studio with and, created ideas and worked out the arrangements and, went back and forth and, bounced ideas off of each other. All those people that I've done that with, I believed in. I didn't just say, hey, just take this beat and I don't care what you do with it. Like, I cared about them. I wanted them to succeed, and I gave them a lot of my time and a lot of my creative energy. And it's important that you care about the people that you're producing. Like, you got to care about them artistically, and you've got to see some potential in them so that you can, bring out the best qualities of their abilities and allow that to be captured on a record. That's what it's about as a music producer, is understanding how to capture great performances and bring the best out of the artist and make an environment where it's comfortable for that artist to be expressive and get their ideas out. That's what music production is. So, and if we're not doing that, then we're not doing our job. If we're not creating that environment, and we're not making it possible for the best type of performance to be captured, then we're lost. And that's why you got a lot of artists that are just doing whatever they want over beats right now, because they don't have guidance, they don't have music producers working with them. And a lot of producers now are cool with not working with artists because they don't want the challenge. They're just like, oh, whatever, I don't want to be somebody's parent in the studio, and I don't want to deal with the shenanigans and nonsense that artists bring to the table. And I get that. But at the end of the day, artists are usually have a different type of mind and a different way of operating. And I think when a producer or somebody that has the mind of a producer gets with the artist, and when those two people meet and start to exchange ideas, really good things can happen if they're working with a good producer. But if not, then what happens is the artist just takes all the, idiosyncrasies that they have as artists and just allows that to be what it is without having any real guidance. So that's, I think it's important that we make sure that producers get back to working with artists and not try to avoid it because it gets complex. Because, it's a challenge. Like, music production is a challenge. It's not something that comes easy. Beat making might come easy for a lot of people or whatever. That's cool. But take that next step. Produce some records. Let's see here. What's your thoughts on MPCX? So on my last live stream, I did answer that. You can check that. That's on my YouTube channel already. It was the last live stream that I did. And I did several streams, so you got to check those, man. Like, I don't want to talk about MPCX again. I'm just going to tell you straight up, I'm not getting one. So, but that doesn't mean anything. That just means that that's not for me. It might be for somebody else. Can you recommend a starting point to sound design, a program, a technique? Honestly, I recommend that you sign up for the Sound Mind sessions. There's a link in my profile on Instagram, and there will also be a link in the video description for this on YouTube. Okay, so if you're interested in a starting point to sound design, programs, techniques, tools that you can get, go check that out. And then I also have an ebook called The Sound Mind. Check that out. That also has some great resources, great information about sound design. And I really break down a lot of the processes that I've used over the past 15 years now as a sound designer, doing stuff for Yamaha and Native Instruments. I break down a lot of the processes that I use. So if you're really interested in learning more about sound design, I would say check out those. Check out the free 6-part series, and also check out the ebook. Hey, what's going on, LC3? I see you up in here, man. Simp, what's going on? I see you up in here, man. What's happening? And for my YouTube people, forgive me if I'm looking at the Instagram. It's just we're live right now, so it just is what it is. Sorry about that, but you'll see when the replay is up. But let's see here. What's a good service to use in building a website? Oh man, it's so many out there now. Some people just use just Wix. There's so much. Most commonly now, a lot of websites can be built on the WordPress platform, and there's a lot of great templates out there now on WordPress. And you know, you can find some stuff for like $50 that kind of has all the layout necessary to get things going. As a music producer, if you want to you know, create stuff, content, and share it on there, like, you can get a good WordPress template and like get it in, man. So I mean, it's a lot of options. My dude Trauma, or Brahma now, my dude Brahma, he builds websites for music producers. Hit him up too. I mean, there's a lot of options out here, man. If you don't have a website today, I don't know what you're doing. I don't know what you're trying to do, but you should have a website. It's important to have some type of online presence. And like I said, this video, we were talking about beat sales online. It's not to say that you don't have an online presence, and I'm not even telling you not to sell beats. You should have a way to express the art that you produce, and I think it's good to have a hub or a central location to display your work. But I would argue that you may want to use your website as a central place to showcase your music productions and not just beats. That Exhale VST, have you touched it yet? No, I haven't messed with it, but you know, it's interesting because I've worked, or I worked before with one of the guys that is now one of the VPs of at Exhale, or at not Exhale, at Output. So he was actually a coworker of mine for quite some time. So, you know, I'm familiar with their products. I just haven't used Exhale. I haven't dug into a lot of stuff, man. Like, you'd be surprised. I don't use a ton of VST instruments all the time just because it's just so much, and I'm trying to master a couple of things right now and like really dive in deep to that. So I don't have time to always get the latest, but you know, I try to get stuff. If somebody tells me something that's like really game changing as far as sound manipulation goes, I try to get it. I have good buzz going on IG, but working on taking it to the next level. That's cool, man. That's cool. I think there's a lot of ways to take it to the next level. I think as a music producer, it's important to make sure that you have the understanding that you are in an entertainment industry, and that there are different levels and modalities of entertainment that your music production can support. So when you're taking it to the next level, you know, put some thought into what are some other ways or what are some other applications that my music production can support some type of entertainment form or modality. Because once you start thinking that way, you'll see a lot more opportunities and a lot more places to express yourself artistically. You know, that's an important thing, is to understand what you're in. It's not just you're a producer or beat maker, but you are a music producer or beat maker inside of the entertainment industry. And, you know, the entertainment industry would include music, but it also includes film and television, and also games for that matter. And, you know, there's a lot of other in-betweens and things that, you know, you have to consider. But, you know, don't make it just focused on social media. Make it about making a statement with your music, and you know, make that the most important thing. Don't make the buzz part the most important thing. Not in the beginning, at least. Who you picking, Swizz or Just, for a Jay-Z record? Snipe, man, stop. I mean, no, that's real. I mean, like I said earlier, Just Blaze is a producer's producer. That's what it is. He's a producer's producer. And I'm a producer. So, I mean, I love Just Blaze music. I think Swizz has a thing that works in a different application. So the real question is, I would say it like this: who would I rather hear? If I was going to a club night, would I rather hear Swizz Beatz in the club all night or Just Blaze in the club all night. If I'm dancing, if I'm trying to like really have fun in the club, I would probably go with Swizz Beatz, to be honest with you. If you really look at the catalog and the type of joints that work when I'm trying to go out and be entertained, I think Swizz will probably have you rocking harder than Just Blaze in that environment, especially in a group environment. Like, Swizz got anthems, you know, that's just really what it is. Swizz is a producer of anthems, and once he gets the right thing, gets the right combination, it just works. And, you know, Just Blaze will have you, you know, steadying up. Like, how did he cut that up? How did he chop that? How did he put those drums on that? How did he get it to sound like that? Just Blaze, he'll make you steady. But Swizz has this thing where he just knows how to move the crowd. He knows how to turn people up and get people energized. So, you know, if I was at the gym, which I'm probably gonna go to in a little bit actually, but if I'm at the gym, I'm gonna hear Swizz. Bring them out, bring them out. You know, that's the joint at the gym. Bring them out for me. You know, stuff like that. It just depends on the circumstances. I don't listen to the same music in every circumstance. You feel me? Man, listen. DMX produced by Swizz? Psst, you would cause a fight. You will cause a fight in the club. You know that, and I think it's just, you know, it depends on the environment. I mean, same thing with Dilla, you know. But I think Dilla, it was a producer that had a bit more of a feel for both environments, and I think we kind of championed Dilla for being more of this kind of like, I always want to say backpack boom bap, but it's not really that. And if you really understand what Dilla was doing, Dilla wasn't really like a backpacker at all. He was like really just an open-minded artist that did a lot of stuff. Like he understood the club, and he understood the smooth laid back stuff. But you know, he was really an exploratory producer, and that's what made him like really dope. I think Swizz is not quite on that level. You know, he's kind of more like he got a couple of different speeds that he goes at. But if we're in the club or at the gym, I'm going Swizz, man. I'm going Swizz all day. Just Blaze, I'm gonna just dissect, and I prefer to watch him make a beat. You know, watching them create like what, show me what you got, amazing. You know what I'm saying? That's the kind of stuff that's inspiring as a music producer. Yeah. Trying to trip me up, Snipe. But yeah, man. Let's see. What inspired me to become a sound designer? That's a great question. Great question. So I got into sound design just through music production, honestly. You know, and sound design, for those that don't know, sound design is really a set of skills and tasks that are designed to support various types of productions, whether the production is music production, a film production, television production, even video game production. Sound design is designed to help to materialize a production. So as a sound designer, I got into sound design because I was trying to create sounds that match what I was doing, or that matched the vision that I had for my music. And I had to teach myself things in order to become a sound designer, but I didn't go out initially to be a sound designer. I was trying to just make better music, and I actually got an opportunity, 14 years ago now, with Yamaha to do some consultation work on some new products they were creating at the time. And that turned into a relationship that gave me an opportunity to learn from some seasoned sound designers, some of the people that did the voicing on the Motif and the EX5 keyboards. I was able to learn some sound design techniques through them, and eventually I started doing some sound design work with Yamaha, creating some sound libraries and things for their keyboards. So that's kind of like the start of my sound design career, was just really the music production teaching me about the aesthetics and the things that I wanted to accomplish sonically, but then some of the technical know-how coming from people I interacted with through Yamaha Corporation. So, I mean, that's pretty much what it is. And then once I learned some basics, I just continued to just dive into it and continue to build up my repertoire of techniques and understanding. But I talk about this more in my Sound Mind Sessions video course. If you haven't checked that out, like I said, I'm gonna leave a link in the video description for that. So once this video is over once it's on YouTube, go ahead and check the video description. If you're on IG right now, check my profile. There's a link to that in the bio. Yeah, Hank Shockley is dope. He's dope. Him and Keith. I know Keith. Keith is a good homie, and really appreciate the contribution that they made to hip hop. Really important guys. Did you ever use the Yamaha SU-77 sampler? I almost bought that. That was gonna be like one of my first samplers, but I opted out of it because one of my homeboys told me you need to get an MPC. So I was like, what's an MPC? And he took me to Guitar Center. We went over there and jammed out for like 2 hours in Guitar Center. This is back when Guitar Center was like super fun. Like, Guitar Center is not that fun anymore, and I got some issues with Guitar Center now. No offense, LC. I know that I met you at Guitar Center, no offense, but Guitar Center is just not the same as it used to be now. But anyhow, once I found out about the MPC and what that was about, I couldn't get the SU-77. It didn't make any sense for me to mess with. So my first hardware sampler was the MPC 2000 XL, and then from that I played with a lot of different samplers after that. Yeah. Oh, Guitar Center. I mean, dude, I went to Guitar. Let me tell you something. And like I said, no offense to anybody that work at Guitar Center, but I'm gonna tell you some real stuff. The past couple weeks, I've been going to Guitar Center trying to get my little situation right. So I went in there to try to get I was trying to get a patch bay, first of all. Now, maybe I'm out of touch. I feel like a patch bay is kind of like a fundamental element in a music studio. That's about connectivity. They don't carry patch bays in Guitar Center anymore. And they looked at me crazy like, huh? I mean, luckily I had a patch bay here still, and I found one in the closet, so I was like, okay, I'm cool. But then I went to go get some patch cables. Listen to me. Patch cables, like short cables that I can use on my patch bay. Huh? What kind of cables? Oh, we have these cables for guitars, but is this what you're looking for? Bruh, patch cables that go in the patch bay, like real short TT cables, you know? Come on, man. No, we don't have those. We don't have those. We can order them online. I'm like, guess what? I can order them online too. What's the point? Why did I even come in here? See, yeah, LC used to hold me down back when Guitar Center was still cool, but now it ain't it ain't cool no more. So I'm cool on Guitar Center. I went there. What else did I go there? I went there for something else that was like real trivial, and they act crazy now, man. Oh, I was buying a case for my pocket operator, and I was asking them if they had the new pocket operator, the Teenage Engineering Pocket Operator. They have the new one, the OP32, or the PO32, not OP, PO32, and they were just acting like real dumb. And I'm like, okay, check on the website then. Do you have it? Do you plan on getting it? And they kept showing me all these other ones, like the 12 and the 24 and all this. And I said, dude, it's the 32. The model is the 32. And they just so like out of touch, man. If you're not buying like a SM57 or a 58 or something real trivial like a MIDI controller now, they have no clue. And maybe they weren't active. Maybe they just don't have any training now. But Guitar Center needs to take care of that. I know some things that Guitar Center could be doing right now, like actually having stuff hooked up. Guitar Center, like, I know it's a computer world now. It's like it's about VSTs and MIDI controllers. Maybe consider setting up your store a little bit differently. Have you some stations with some computers with some keyboards and MIDI controllers hooked up with some actual sound, or some VSTs or something. That might help. You know, have some iPads connected to some of your MIDI controllers. Do something, because at this point, y'all gonna lose. Y'all gonna lose if y'all don't get it together. And Guitar Center used to be dope. It used to be so fun, and it's garbage now. So fix that, please. Said, well, we got this 12. Man, yeah, he was trying to sell me like a 10-foot cable, man. I'm looking for a patch page, man. Or you talking about the PO12, man? Same thing. They look the same, bro. He was like, oh, this one? I'm like, no, man. The 32, the new joint. Which one? Like, okay, whatever. You don't have it. It's cool. Oh, it's on pre-order right now. Thank you. Peace. I got it. So, yeah, I was frustrated. I went in there like 3 times in the past couple weeks and just, not the business, man. Not the business. Yeah, they remodeled and everything. But, hey, I think that this whole Amazon thing and Sweetwater and all that, it's going to shut them out, man. I'm sorry. Ain't no point of me going to Guitar Center and y'all don't have gear, you know. And I think part of it is maybe I've outgrown Guitar Center in some ways. Like, they just don't carry the level of equipment that I need anymore, too. That's another issue. But ultimately, like, I think they should still aim to create a positive experience, especially for people that are just getting into music. You should have a really good experience and have a very memorable experience and be inspired to buy stuff, man. You know, over the years, I've spent money at Guitar Center, man. Yeah, I mean, I'm not about to break down how much money I spent at Guitar Center, but you can probably look around and see I spent some money at Guitar Center, man. It's not, I'm not sitting up in here, you know, trying to break their balls with like stupid purchases, man. Like, I'll buy real stuff there. But anyhow. Oh, man. The Northridge one, the Northridge Guitar Center, boy, that's the weakest Guitar Center ever, man. Really, that's the weakest Guitar Center, man. They don't have anything there. You'd be like upset. But, you know, that's Guitar Center. I don't think they're going to last too much longer if they don't get it together. Hopefully they do, man. I mean, I have some great memories from Guitar Center, to be honest, and it's unfortunate to see a place like that like go down so fast and not adapt to the times, and you know, really not care about the community or the customers. But you gotta care. That's what I was talking about earlier. You gotta care. Anyhow, y'all, listen. I got a minute and 30 seconds left. I appreciate all y'all that joined me. Like I said, go check out Sound Mind Sessions. I'm going to have a link in the video description. 6-part video course. Free. Go check it out. Link in the video description, y'all. If you're on IG, hit the link in my bio and get that. All right? Appreciate y'all. Hope this was a good session. We're going to continue doing this. Until next time, I just want to tell y'all peace and God bless.